Hello. Let's see if I figure out how this works, and then we can start. A lot of people, so I hope I can get a smile from you. That will be my goal for today. I work at VodafoneZiggo, and hi, I'm Paula. I'm currently a performance improvement manager at VodafoneZiggo in the area of technology. And I'm also a researcher at the University of Groningen, when my focus is the adoption of AI systems in society, but also in enterprises. I'm fascinated by technology and especially by AI. And I'm really curious about how are we going to make it work, the human and the technological aspect of it. I'm also a sidekick in an internal program that we have. But that doesn't get away the butterflies that I have now. But I see some smileys, so that's very nice. Thank you. What I want to talk to you today is not disclaimer. I'm not going to show you what we're working on, but the how we're approaching the adoption of AI, especially in technology. And there it's there. And there are three things that are helping us at the moment to accelerate the adoption and the idea of AI at VodafoneZiggo. And I'm constantly telling technology because we do have a strategy part, and that's where data and AI tribe lives. So from the technology side, we are the ones who digging the cables, and we're putting all the nice angels in the sky that gives you the Wi-Fi. That's technology. That's hardcore what we do. But at the moment, we saw that there was a need for getting people to understand a little bit more on the technology side of what we do. We heard on the previous talk that the business side is really important on building the systems. And at the moment, there are three things that are helping us. One is building bridges, show, and then tell. And the last one is bringing fresh perspectives. So I'm going to guide you through one of them. First, I'm also curious by nature, and everywhere I go, I start thinking, do we still have to do things this way? And that's why I really like AI, because it changes so fast that you have to ask this question constantly over and over. And that's why I built the AI task force in technology. And I have all these little robots with me to help to move AI and to spread it around the organization. Because probably you cannot tell, but the average person in technology doesn't look like me. It looks, well, it doesn't look like me. Let's leave it at that. So that's why I built the AI task force, to have more voices and to spread AI. Yes, the power of AI. That's how I see myself with the one spreading the power of AI. And what we start doing is to go to all the different business departments in technology and start talking about AI, to level the field. And what I noticed that we did at the beginning is to start preaching all the solutions, all the wonderful things that AI can do for you, and then start looking for the problem, which, let me tell you, is not the best approach. Then we move around, and then we say, okay, what kind of problems do you have? We have the technology to solve you. It worked better, but still no. So the last thing we did is looking for aspirations, looking for enablers. So where do you want to go? And why did we move away with problems? It's because maybe in 5 years, we're not going to have the same problems that we have now, because everything is moving so fast. So we're looking, where do we want to go? And then see how AI can enable us to get there. So that's one of the things that we did. And this is the picture that we start all for meetings with the business units. It's because AI needs you. They are the domain experts, and AI doesn't grow in a vacuum. So we really need to understand what do they do and what do they need. Also because we got a lot of pushbacks at the beginning. Yeah, but you want to automate my work and then I don't have a job anymore. Probably you heard that as well. But we need people. AI is just AI without humans. So we really need to build that interaction. And that's what we start doing. We build the bridges between the business and the technology side to start leveling the field and to start talking the same language. And that's where the magic happens. So the first one, just find builders and build those little bridges. The second one, it's one of my favorites, and we call it show, then tell. Because, oops, I'm passing too much. Because I want to ask you to close your eyes and think about a phone, just a phone. And well, you saw this slide before. So probably the phone that you think in your mind is something like this. But a phone can also be like this, or like this. And why do we want to show first and then tell? It's because ideas have different for everybody. So if this is for a phone, imagine when we're going to tell we're going to build an AI system. Forget it. We lost. Everybody has an idea on their mind of little robots building things or stardust or whatever you imagine that AI is. It's very hard. So that's why we're starting to show something, a little bit of a prototype. We call it a boundary object. That's from design theory. So we start showing boundary objects. So then people can start building on top of it. We bringing the things from the idea to something tangible that we can discuss and talk about. And then we talk a lot about what data do we need, what is it that we want to solve. It's just like a family therapy. We just talk a lot. And I heard a few weeks ago the CEO of Spotify saying, talking is cheap. And I always thought this was in a bad way, but he was framing it in another way. He said, talking is cheap and building is expensive, so let's talk. And that caught on me, and I said, okay, that's what we do, so that's good. We're on the right path. We talk and talk and talk a lot. But for us, starting to talk, it doesn't work if we don't show something, because the AI maturity in technology, where I'm coming from, is not that high. So you really need to show something tangible so then they can play and see. I don't know how it was for you, but I had the pleasure of playing with ChatGPT way long ago. And I was telling my boyfriend, this is amazing. You have to try it. You don't understand. This is going to change the world. And he was like, yeah, but you just, I don't get it. You just type something and then you have an answer? That doesn't seem so complicated. And then a year and a half passed, and then he came back home and he said, wait, stop doing dinner, I have to show you something. And then he showed me ChatGPT, and I was like, seriously? Now? No way. So then I realized, okay, yeah, that's true. People need to see and touch things to get into their system how they work. So we are trying to move from the idea of the PowerPoint to actually something little that they can play with. And then we can talk, Daniel. But first we show, and then we talk. So that's the second thing that we are doing or trying to do now. And the third one is fresh perspectives. And yes, I'm curious by nature, and I'm that person who was asking, why are you doing this? Why do we build cables? Why? Until, last week, one of the senior managers told me, I don't know, Paula, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, that was one question too many, back off. Fine. But what do I do now? Well, I told you about the AI task force. Well, the AI task force is people all around technology, but especially trainees and students. I love bringing students to the conversation. Why? Because they're not afraid of asking, and people are expecting them to ask the dumb questions. So that's why I like to bring them there, just asking random questions. They bring the fresh perspective to the AI system, but what I also like to do, and I told you, I'm a researcher at the University of Groningen, we built the academy with the business. And that's really important because you go into business and you get caught up in your day-to-day, and you forget that the world is more than VodafoneZiggo, in my case. Everything we do is VodafoneZiggo. But outside, there are very smart people who are researching and bringing new ideas to it. So we need that flux of information. And I cannot read everything myself. So that's why I have the task force. We bring the academia to VodafoneZiggo, and then we start doing these little experiments on how does it work for us. And that's one of the things I got from Disney. They do it really well. Everything that pops out, they just bring in and say, how can we use this? And that's what I like. And that's why I'm very happy that the task force is there and that we're just shifting things. I think it's very needed just to stop in one moment and say, okay, why are we doing these things this way again? And just rethink. And that's why AI fascinates me. Because we're in that moment of time that everything changed so fast that if you don't stop and ask yourself, do we still have to do things this way? Then there is no way that any business will survive. And that was it. I talk very fast when I get nervous, so I went a little bit fast. But those are the three things that at the moment are helping us to accelerate and to bring AI into the organization. So build bridges, show, and then tell. And bring those fresh perspectives. It's very important. And that was it. Me and my robots, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paula. Any questions from the audience at all? There's been a really rich presentation there, full of ideas that you can take back to your own organizations. Any questions on how you might do that? Okay, well, brilliant. Yeah, we've got one at the front. Gentleman in the white shirt.
Also, if you're also struggling with bringing AI to your organization, let's talk.
Good idea.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
What's
Fantastic.
your name?
Remco Strik. Yeah, I work for Eneco, electricity company. So thanks for your presentation. Looking at the previous speakers about creating a hub and decentralizing AI. So how do you approach that within VodafoneZiggo? Is your task force actually sort of more inspiring and injecting AI in all the different the divisions where they build the use cases, or are you taking these more centrally and then sort of building it more centrally? How is your approach there?
Yeah, I think that AI should be like in the DNA of every company at the moment. So what we are really trying to do is to put that curiosity bug in all the different departments. And at the moment, we're building the bridge with the data and AI team. So we are the first point of contact with technology because we're also doing that. So we are the domain expert as well. So we are starting the conversations and trying to shape a little bit of a thing before we can go to data and AI, and then they can build the massive thing. So we just ignite that curiosity, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions at all from the audience? Please raise your hand nice and high so we can see. There's one in the center. Thank you. Mic on its way.
Sorry? Hi.
Hi.
Everyone. I'm not good with the mic, though. I'm Gila. I work for Delhaize Belgium, so the retail company. And the last part you spoke about students, so that's something that we really focus on, and we like collaborating with university on use cases and projects. But one of the things I feel is that it requires a lot of capacity and time from our teams and from the business teams to make it work and to succeed. How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's about balance. At the beginning, I got very ambitious and I got, bring me all the students. I need that energy. And then you realize, oh, they also need guidance and they also need to understand what you're doing and give them the task in a little box. So now we try to balance that, and also we have trainees in-house, so then they can be kind of a mentor for them. But yes, it's about balance how much you can give them, because they also need guidance, of course. It's not like we just bring them and let them into the wild and just run wild with research papers. No, we really need to guide them and take the best out of them, but we also want to give them the best that we have. So balance and learning. And I'm still learning there. So if you want to talk, we can talk.
Thank you very much. We've got one more question. Thank you.
Oh, hey, thanks for the talk.
Hi.
I was wondering, when you engage with other teams to get them to adopt AI technology, how long is that like from start to end? And kind of like, what are things that make it succeed, and what are things where you see it like fail miserably?
It depends on the team itself, because there are some teams more mature or that we've been massaging it a little bit more, so they kind of know what to expect or what to ask from us. But we do have, from the data and AI team, we have a full workshops and a full roadmap and framework on how to bring these teams. But the first conversations are very important, at least for me, just to try to understand them and engage with them and leveling up a little bit, little by little, the playing field, so then they understand what are the possibilities. Right now, everything in AI is generative AI, but there is way more on it. So it's about feeding them little by little to see how fast can they eat, and then have a conversation. It's more like therapy at the beginning, just to get that that confidence going, that it's not going to end up in a talk, and then if we don't show anything, then the next team is going to say, okay, why am I going to give you my time? But it's about talking to them, understanding their problems, where their department is going, and what can AI do for them, and showing them a little bit of examples, and then building that. It's like a relationship.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Paula, again, thank you.
Thank you.